What if your life isn't winding down, but just getting started? What if everything you've believed about age, about timing, about missing your chance isn't true? Because there are people, real people, who spent most of their lives struggling, searching, failing, only to discover success when the world thought their time had already passed. This is one of those stories. At 65 years old, he had almost nothing left. No stable income, no real security, and a lifetime of setbacks behind him. Most people around him believed his story was already written, that whatever he was going to become, he had already become. But deep inside, he refused to accept that. He had one thing, just one, a simple fried chicken recipe. It didn't look like much. It didn't seem like the kind of thing that could change a life, let alone the world. But to him, it was everything. So he made a decision. Instead of giving up, he started over. He got into his car and began traveling from town to town, walking into restaurants, knocking on doors, asking strangers to believe in his idea. And one by one, they turned him away. No, no, no. The word followed him everywhere. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Rejection after rejection, until the number crossed into the hundreds, then into the thousands. Imagine hearing no over 1,000 times, and still waking up the next day, ready to try again. Most people would have stopped. Most people do stop. But something inside him refused to break, because he believed it wasn't over yet. And then, one day, something changed. One person listened. One person believed. And that single moment, that one yes, became the turning point of his life. What started as a simple recipe became one of the most recognized food brands in the world. A story that began at 65 became a legacy that would outlive him. But that's not the only story, because somewhere else, another life was quietly unfolding. She lived a simple life. No spotlight, no fame, no extraordinary recognition, just years of routine, years of hard work, years that passed quietly, one after another. If you had met her back then, you probably wouldn't have thought twice. Nothing about her life suggested greatness. Nothing hinted at what was coming. And yet, everything was leading to it. At 78 years old, when most people are told to slow down, she did something unexpected. She picked up a paintbrush. Not because she had a plan, not because she wanted success, but because that made her feel something. Something new. Something alive. At first, it was just a way to pass time. Simple paintings. Quiet moments. A personal escape. But there was something special in her work. Something honest. Something real. And slowly, people began to notice. One person saw beauty in it. Then another. Her paintings began to travel far beyond the small world she had always known. From quiet beginnings, to galleries, to museums. At an age when most believe life is winding down, hers was opening up. Her name became known across the world, not because she chased success, but because she followed what she loved. And success followed her. And still, there's another story. She carried her stories for decades, not written on paper, but lived, through hardship, through family, through moments that shaped her in ways no one could see. Years passed. Life moved forward. Responsibilities came and went, and somewhere along the way, her voice remained silent, not because it didn't exist, but because the time wasn't right. Not yet. It wasn't until her 60s that something shifted. She began to write, slowly at first, one page at a time, memories turning into words, moments turning into stories. There was no rush, no pressure, just truth being written down. And those quiet pages began to grow into something bigger, something powerful, stories that felt real because they were real, stories that connected because they came from a lifetime of living. What she created didn't just stay on paper. It reached people. It inspired families. It shaped generations. Her words became timeless. Proof that sometimes you don't need to start early. You just need to start. 3 different lives. 3 different journeys. Each one filled with doubt, with waiting, with moments that could have ended everything. But they didn't. Because in every one of those lives, there was a decision. A quiet, powerful decision. To keep going. To try again. To begin, even when it felt too late. And that decision changed everything. How many people never take that step? How many dreams fade away? Not because they weren't possible, but because someone believed they were out of time? How many ideas never get a chance to live? Because fear says, it's too late now? But what if it isn't? What if the only thing standing between you and everything you could become is the belief that your moment has passed? Because the truth is simple. There is no perfect time. There is no deadline on purpose. There is no age that decides when your story matters. Some stories start early, but others, the most powerful ones, take time. They grow quietly. They build slowly, until one day, they finally begin. And maybe, just maybe, your story is one of them. And that's everything for today's video. Hopefully, this gave you some useful information that you can actually take away and use. If it did, do me a quick favor, tap the like button. It really helps more people find this content. And if you're into simple, straight-to-the-point videos like this, make sure you subscribe. There's a lot more coming soon. Thanks for sticking around till the end. I'll see you in the next one.